Hi guys, it's Tibbs from Purple Newbie Juice, and I just wanted to bring this to you. I had mentioned in the past about making puzzles. Um, I used to make all kinds of puzzles. I started off years ago when I was looking through a magazine, and I came across this snake, and it was a simple, probably a 2.5 foot snake, 2 foot snake that, moved back and forth, and I kind of wobbled a little bit. It had a realistic look to it. And, it was obviously made out of wood, but it was very intricate in the pieces. And I spent a good week and a half to 2 weeks testing and trying to figure out how it was done and finally figured it out. Well, since then, I've also made puzzle boxes, taken the level of difficulty of the puzzles to a new level. This is a puzzle I did make years ago. Normally, I would have sanded the wood. This is a piece of black walnut, and all the edges and everything, and just made it a lot nicer. This is just an example of, and right here, you're supposed to, any kind of decoration you put on it, you want to put on before you even make the puzzle, have it all sanded nice, and then after you make the pieces, individual pieces, you go back and sand all the edges and everything to kind of make it stand out and look really nice. But this was I was trying to put the Patriots emblem on there. But anyways, I am going to take this apart and kind of show you a little bit and how I made it. And tomorrow, hopefully, I do have to do some work on my daughter's side of the house. This is a piece of ebony wood, and I'd like to make a simple puzzle. Just three-dimensional out of this. This is in it, and explain to you how I do it and go through the steps and how to make it so that you can put it back together again without spending a lot of time doing it. Okay, I make these on a scroll saw, jigsaw. Not even, because I've been working woodworking all my life, and I still haven't figured out what they are. But it's the round. I think it's a jigsaw, scroll saw. I don't know. Anyways, there's this particular way of taking these things apart, and because I do it on that saw, and it's not like a bandsaw that you can let the blade catch up to, and this, you're making such fine turns and everything, you can only usually put them in one way. If you see how I'm trying to pull on this right now, it won't come out this way. Now these pieces are delicate, so you got to be careful when they get down to the smaller pieces. See, this piece will come out now, but if I was to flip it and try doing that, it won't come out because they're tapered. So you got to be really careful when you're putting these together not to force the pieces. If it doesn't go in easy, it wasn't meant to fit. So let's take this off now, and you can see the pieces inside, the cuts that were made. Hopefully you can see that. Let me adjust the other light over here. Put a little bit more light on the subject. Okay, so this would have been the first cut I made. I would have taken the wood through the saw and made this cut and separated the two pieces. And you can only pull it out one way. And then I would have either taken this piece or this piece for the next step. And then I would cut it out and make two pieces out of it. So now we have these two pieces. And from there, I would individually take out, you got to figure out which way I went. I would have done that piece, cutting it that way. Then I would have made the cut this way. And see, if it doesn't go one way, it's got to go the other. I would have cut this piece out. Then you go back the other way. And I would have taken, whoops, losing. Okay, I would have had it come up this way, and then this piece I would have turned it the next way, and cut out that piece. And each time you do this, you got to be very careful not to. You got to leave yourself enough room so that you're not going to make the pieces too delicate, like right here. If you look at that little piece right there, that could easily snap off. So I was a little careless there. And as long as there's enough meat on it, and depending on the density of the wood and the strength of it, you can get away with some of these finer, thinner cuts. Okay, then I would have finished that piece, and then I would have came back and made that cut. Then I would have flipped it up and made. Okay, let's see how that went. Okay, so actually there's two pieces here, so we're at the wrong end, I think. I would have. Okay, what I did was I think I cut this out first, and then I cut this piece out. Of that one. Then I want to cut that piece out. And then I would have cut that piece out from this. And again, depending on the grain, that is a very flexible, it's very weak. It is black walnut, so it has a little strength to it, but nothing like if it was a piece of ebony or oak is not a good wood to use typically because it has a wider grain. But the more dense the wood, the better it will last. And as long as people don't force it, you're all right. Now these two pieces here, because it came out not in a line like this one, but it was cut where I separated these two, then made these two pieces. And what would happen probably would be somebody would go to put this piece together, and you got to start from this way and work yourself back. But you would do that, and then you would find yourself that, oh my God, I have a piece left over because I did that trick piece right there. So then you get to this half, and basically it's the same thing. You make a key, what I call a key, to start the whole thing. So that would have been my first cut. And then this would have been my second cut. And then again, I took another piece and separated the two. And then you keep going on. Now I made two pieces out of here. And then you would turn it this way to cut out the next piece. And that is all one big piece. And then this piece would have been the next piece. And that is what you have left over. Now that is a pretty good sized chunk, but if I was to try to cut another piece out of this bigger piece, as you can see, it looks like I did try, but because it's such a fine cut, you got to be very careful. The blades are very thin, and they can run on you. You can see how that piece came out terrible. I was trying to go through too thick of a piece, and that's the way it just happened. So to put it back together again, you just do everything in reverse. If it doesn't go in this way, you put it in the next way. But what I do when I sell these, when they come out nice, I'm not going to sell something that's not top quality. It's hard to do with one hand anyways, but there we go. I would show a picture of it put together, and I would sell it taken apart. You would receive it taken apart so that you can't go ahead and do this. These puzzles are very difficult. No, you could go and and put this piece in. And then what you would have is a very, like, okay, yeah, that fits, but something's wrong here, you know. And you'll start with all, you know, you'll find pieces that fit each other, and get a clump of these pieces or these pieces or that pieces. It's all mixed up, and it takes a long time to do these. Once you get down the pattern and see how it's together, put together, it becomes easier and you become better at it. And my son used to be my test guy, you know, to see how long it would take him to put them together, knowing how to do it. And I would rate how difficult the puzzles were by the amount of time it took him to do it. But anyways, I thought I'd show you that part of my history. And just to give you an idea, I made the dinosaur on Toy Story, a bunch of those. I've made round, as round as I could get balls. I made turtles, dinosaurs, bears, snakes, dogs. I said alligators. I don't know, but some of them came out really, really, really nice. Not just these blocks of wood, but I will try to make one out of this ebony wood step by step, so you guys can, you know, if you like this type of thing where you want to try actually making it for yourself, I will show you on how to do that. All right. Well, anyways, thank you. Tibbs out, and till the next time. Later, guys.